This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Tuesday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, Sirius XM Channel 158, Gil Alexander. That right there is Kelly Bidlin, everybody.
Hey, how we doing?
What's happening?
Not much, man. Beautiful weather out here, you know. And I was getting a lot of crap last week.
You every morning now, there's at least one or two people who are like, "Here's the weather where I am, Kelly." After Kelly complained about the weather here last week.
See, you know, usually I'd be like, well, like I could still complain, but it's actually really nice out in Vegas right now. You and I were just talking about it. It was like 67 degrees like yesterday afternoon.
By midday, it's gorgeous.
Perfect.
You're in the sun. It's blinding. Yeah. A whole bunch of everything on the show today. Jake Hahn on the NHL is going to join us. Matty Cox from Three Man Weave to talk college hoops. Couple games in the Jimmy V Classic tonight at MSG. We'll talk about that. Chris Valika in studio. How about that?
Let's go.
Little double shot of Falika this week and a double shot of Falika today. Couple segments with Chris in studio. He's in town.
What is this? Is this like the El Oso vacation? Is this like mini vacay time?
No, this is a college football Hall of Fame banquet.
That's right.
His cohort Urban Meyer being inducted.
Forgot he was telling us about this last week. Completely forgot.
Urban Myers, right? Urban Meyer. I was correct the first time. What's wrong with me? Jason Myers, Jacoby Myers. I can never get it right. Spelling. Yeah. Jeff Erickson, RotoWire, senior editor, Talk NFL, Week 15. Week 15, Kelly, with us a little
How's
later on.
How's it December already?
How did this happen? Survivor preview. Now, here's the thing with the Survivor segment. It cannibalizes itself, right, as the year goes on. So after last night, and we'll get to the Eagles-Chargers here momentarily, what a ball game in all the kind of weird ways that were unimaginable. There's only 10 entries left in Circa Survivor. Only 10 after last night. It's incredible. Kelly and I shot for part of the Circa Survivor Year 3 documentary yesterday, and I don't know about your solo parts, but almost all of my solo part rendered completely useless afterwards because it involved the 11th guy that was in it still last night.
Yeah.
Dunzo.
We definitely recorded a lot yesterday saying the 11 left.
That's right. Well, there's 10 left, 99.95% out, and literally in the last 12 days, 99% of the remaining 900 out now. 10 of 900. It's just incredible. Just incredible what has happened here in the last stretch of time. Thanksgiving till now. 10 left, each worth $1,871,800. It's very simple math. You just split up the $1.878 million pot 10 ways.
I was just thinking it is very simple math, except for I have forgotten every time we've talked about this since the beginning of the season how much the pot is. Exactly.
Yeah, well, I live with it. Live with it daily with taking these notes. So that's it. 10 left. We'll talk Circa Survivor. We'll do our NFL power rankings. My NFL power rankings beyond the top 5 have changed dramatically. Top 5 remain the same. But after that, it's changed dramatically. We'll do that. And Pete Futak on college football. Get his snobbish SEC Big Ten-laden thoughts. That's Pete's brand.
I actually cannot wait to hear Pete's reaction to the college football playoff setup, right?
I'm very curious.
Like, is he going to be the rogue, like Miami and Notre Dame both should have gotten in? Because he could be, right?
And for those who objected to Chris Falika and believe that Chris Falika single-handedly stumped for his alma mater to get in, you can call in at 1-800. Can you imagine if we took calls on this show?
I'm just going to start giving out Chris Foster's phone number.
Chris, deep thoughts with Chris Foster?
Deep thoughts with Chris Foster.
Talk to Chris. Just talk to Chris. He'll handle it. All right, last night. Well, this was something. And by something, I mean something. That's about it. Chargers 22, Eagles 19 in overtime. Chargers get to 9-4 on the season. Eagles fall to 8-5 on the season with all kinds of implications. On the Eagles side, Cowboys now still feel like they're in it, and they are. Just a game and a half behind the Eagles in the NFC East with, I believe, the schedule favoring them. We'll also look at make-miss playoffs here coming up, now that I mentioned it. Chargers looking good, and the Chiefs take one more incremental step back into oblivion. Last night, in case you missed it, this was unbelievable. First drive of the game for the Chargers, 6 plays, 80 yards, took 249, 3rd and 7 at their own 23. Herbert to Kamani Vidal for 60, and 3 plays later, Herbert to Hampton from 4 out. 7-0 Chargers, 8:49 left first quarter. And then Philly, Saquon Barkley had his second best game of the year yesterday. I think he had a game against the Giants where his stats were better, but this was, besides that game, this was it for him this year. Saquon with 19 yards, 10 yards, 8 yards on the subsequent drive, but they settled for an Elliott field goal, 7-3. Next time that Philly would get the ball, 3rd and 1 at the Chargers 20. And this is where the shenanigans begin. 3rd and 1 at the Chargers 20. They're down 7-3. Hurts picked by Deshaun Hand, who then gets hit by Will Shipley. He fumbles. It's recovered by Hurts, who then gets hit by Jamari Caldwell. Hurts fumbles. Recovered by Troy Dye. 3 turnovers, 1 play, 2 by Hurts himself. And Hurts becomes the first player since at least 1978 to have 2 turnovers on 1 play.
That's impressive.
We only go back that far. Chargers turn that into a field goal, 10-3. Philly then subsequent drive, second play, 2nd and 10 at their own 28. Hurts picked by Dante Jackson. Chargers set up at the Philly 30. First play, hey, hold my beer, watch this. Nakobe Dean bum rushes Omari Hampton, strips the ball from Herbert. That's recovered by Byron Young. 5 turnovers in an 11-play span. Jeez. What are we watching? Philadelphia from their own 42 down 7. They get to 1st and goal at the 2, but a hold on Jordan Mailata on 2nd and goal forces Philly to settle for an Elliott field goal, 10-6 Chargers with 48 seconds left in the quarter. And then the Chargers 3rd and 4 at their own 37. Herbert's arms hit by Jalen Phillips. Ball in the air picked by Adoree Jackson. Unnecessary roughness on Vidal tacked on. Philly set up at the Chargers 30. Elliott, 48-yard field goal try before the end of the half. Wide left. Oh, man. 6 turnovers in the first half, 3 by each team. 10-6 Chargers. What a game.
Yeah, it was ugly. Ugly.
Third quarter. Chargers begin with a long, sustained drive. Oh, it was old Rigo drill is what we used to call it in D.C. 9 minutes, 28 seconds. 4th and 1 at the Philly 18. Harbaugh says, let's get 3. 4th and 1 at the 18. Let's just go up 7. Dicker, field goal, good. But Moro Ojomo with obvious leverage foul. Take the 3 off the board. The drive extends, but it results in a Dicker 34-yard field goal anyway. 13-6 Chargers with 5.5 left in the third quarter. That's the first drive of that half. 13-9 now, later. Philly from their own 44. First play, fourth quarter. Saquon for 52 to the house. And the Eagles sidelines going crazy. They got the lead for the first time. By the way, Jordan Mailata gets away with the hold on this one on Khalil Mack. 16-13 Eagles, 9 seconds into the fourth. Chargers, 4th and 3 at their own 49 with 12:02 left. Harbaugh, conservative as ever, he decides to punt. That worked out because Philly on the second play of the subsequent drive, 1st and 10 at their own 46. Hurts throws high to Brown, probably should have caught it. Deflects off his hands to Cam Hart. Hurts' 3rd pick and 4th turnover of the game. Remember, he had a fumble in there on the same play as his first pick. Chargers then set up at the Philly 35. They settle for another Dicker 31-yard field goal. We are tied at 16 halfway through the fourth. 3 and out. Philly then, from their own 40 with 3:33 left, it looked like they were going to put this away. They got all 3 timeouts. Hurts to Brown for 15, then to Brown for 19 on consecutive second downs. Then Brown drops a would-be touchdown pass on the subsequent second down. Devontae then drops a 3rd down pass, stopping the clock. They have to settle for an Elliott 44-yard field goal. 19-16 Eagles with 2:16 left. And the Chargers now with 1 timeout and 2-minute warning at their disposal. Start at their own 29 with 2:11 left. It gets to 3rd and 10 at their own 28. 3rd and 10 at their own 28 with 1:58 left. PI on Quinyon Mitchell. 5 plays later, 3rd and 4 at the Philadelphia 42. Herbert for 4. Then Herbert for 9 on a keeper. That sets up a Dicker 46-yard field goal. 19-19, we're going to overtime. And at this point, because we've talked about Dicker before, you and I, Kelly. We have tributed him before. Dicker the kicker.
He's incredible.
101 for 103 career at this point, under 50 yards. Just put him in the Hall of Fame already.
When did we start tracking this? I felt like he was like 50 for 51 or something like that.
Dude is incredible. He's just A-U-T-O-matic, I believe the great Prince once said.
It flies under the radar, seemingly, for kickers.
It does.
Which I didn't know. I don't know where the kicker radar's at, but he flies under.
You know why? Because chicks dig the long ball. We are wowed by Brandon Aubrey kicking it from 67.
They dig Brandon Aubrey. That's what it is.
Yeah. Overtime. Philly wins the toss. They elect to kick it away. You like that? That's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Chargers say
I don't know if you're supposed to do it, but yeah.
Chargers say we like that. From their own 30, Herbert for 12, then Hampton for 18, but they stall 4th and 6 at the Philadelphia 36. Dicker from 54, bang. 22-19 Chargers, 6:24 left in overtime. But Philly matriculates from their own 31, 3rd and 16 at their own 26 after 2 Eagles holds on the same play. Hurts Devontae for 28. Then 4th and 4 at the Chargers 42. Neutral zone infraction by Odafe Owe.
Brutal.
Mailata smartly moving to induce the flag.
Yep.
First down. 2 plays later to Goddard for 16, down to the 17. 1st and 10. Remember, touchdown wins it. Hurts to throw. Looking for Dotson. Cam Hart sees it, peels off Goddard, deflects it to Tony Jefferson, who makes an unbelievable one-handed stab at the 1. Pick, ball game. Except Jefferson gets up and starts running. Sit down. Sit down. The game's over. Don't ruin this.
The old teammate tackle coming in.
Oh, God. And by the way, we looked this up because we had this question afterwards. Does the change of possession on the pick mean the game is over? Or does the play extend even though there's a change of possession? And the answer is the play extends.
Yeah, sure. Until that play's over.
So there's always a possibility he could fumble, and then the Eagles could take it in the end zone. Chargers win it 22-19. Hurts with 5 turnovers, 4 of them picks. The most incredible stat of this game, 8 combined turnovers, 5 for the Eagles, 3 for the Chargers. You know how many points off those 8 turnovers? 9. That's it. Of course, the last pick was the big game changer, even though points weren't scored off it, but points prevented. Huge there. What a ball game.
What an incredible interception that last one was.
Oh, it was incredible.
Between the two guys?
Both guys.
Yeah.
We'll come back. Hockey, college basketball, we'll talk more about this. Make miss playoffs next.
If you're serious about football betting, VSiN's got your weekend game plan. Fridays at 7 p.m., it's the Circa Friday Football Invitational. Saturday morning, VSiN's college football tailgate show at 9 a.m., breaking down matchups, props, and big-time bets. Later that night, join the football contest show as the sharpest betting minds give you their picks for Sunday's game. And Sunday at 9 a.m., lock in with Mitch and Pauly on VSiN's Pro Football Tailgate Show. Your final stop before kickoff. Check out the full lineup at VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, the tip jar's open. Let's see those pizza bets. We recap Monday Night Football with the Eagles and Chargers. Brad Powers to brag and show off. He was saying for weeks, bet no, Notre Dame 11-1 to miss the playoff. Paul Stone with bold picks. Derek Stevens update contest. Follow the Money 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN. The Sports Betting Network, SiriusXM Channel 158. Check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis, or get the VSiN Watch app.
The Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers Game live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. A glorious, glorious property. Look at that thing on the screen. If you missed it the first time, good news. We're giving you one last chance to score an unforgettable Vegas weekend here at Circa Resort Casino right now. First 100 new VSiN Pro annual subscribers who sign up using promo code CIRCA will receive a free 3-night stay at Circa Resort Casino January 2nd through the 5th, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim during the final weekend of the NFL regular season. You also save 50% off the monthly price and get a full year of VSiN Pro, daily best bets, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered prop tools, 24/7 video, and every betting guide from the college football playoff through next year's NFL. It's your last shot at the Circa getaway, so don't wait. Lock in your spot now at VSiN.com/Circa and use promo code CIRCA. That's VSIN.com/Circa. How about that? We get tweets, beating the book. Always appreciate the feedback. I'm going to have to go off the phone here because the computer's giving me trouble this morning. This is from Fire Tomlin into the Sun. That's what he goes by on Twitter. It says Pavia,
is he a big fan?
He says Pavia down to 6-1 on DraftKings for the Heisman. Are we sure the thing is locked up for Mendoza? Well, we are never sure when it comes to humans voting on anything. As always, we always say that. By the way, for those who missed it, Diego Pavia, Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love, Ohio State quarterback Julian Sayin, and Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman finalists. They're going to New York. 6-1 on Pavia. We're never sure about anything, but I stick with the topic sentence that I have always stated, which is if Indiana goes undefeated, beats Ohio State in the last game in the Big Ten championship, Mendoza gets it.
Yeah, it's hard to see him lose at this point, but that movement is fascinating.
Movement is always fascinating, but again, movement in awards markets also. Mendoza's still minus 1,000.
Right.
Pavia 6-1, Jeremiah Love 150-1, and Sayin 700-1. I'm just saying, 700-1. This is from Gamar. I hope I'm saying that right. AH Ruff. If the Jags win the AFC East and the North, does that free up a spot for Notre Dame in the playoffs? I believe it does. We'll check on that. We'll do a numbers game investigation. Johnny Ringo, appreciate the warning about Pete coming on later. Taking the anti-nausea meds now for the upcoming takes. That's fairway Fred. Chicks dig the long ball. Thanks for bringing me back to a time when Viagra was not needed. And then what's the latest? I'm just seeing this. Tarek Skubal. Dodgers making Tarek Skubal a big offer. We'll see.
No way.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
I'm shocked.
Just caught my eye. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, Dodgers in talks.
Anyway, anything to add about that game last night? I know I just ran you into a wall, so I didn't know if you wanted to say anything.
No, I'm glad you brought that up. I said something during the break. The Justin Herbert, I give you a lot of crap sometimes.
Yes, you do.
Actually, I don't give you a lot of crap. I give you deserved crap, okay, that nobody else gives you.
A moderate amount of crap.
I give you the absolutely correct amount of crap. So the positives, man. He came to play last night. That was impressive. I can't believe how many shots he took and how willing he was to just run into the chaos with that hand.
But that's kind of his brand. He does that every. Well, he doesn't have the hand injury every time.
Yeah.
But yes.
I mean that's why I'm giving him credit.
AFC make miss, NFC make miss, and this becomes obviously more crystal clear with each reduced week, and now it's a 4-game sprint to the finish line for the playoffs. 7 get in, only 1 gets a first round bye, the number 1 seed, as you know. AFC playoff picture, is there a bet on the make miss? I'm glad we started with the AFC because the AFC to me is more straightforward because I think you have a bucket, right? You have the Steelers-Ravens vacuum of the AFC North, where the Steelers are 7-6, the Ravens are 6-7, and you see now properly, right? The Steelers are minus 185 to make, the Ravens are minus 230 to miss. That is finally flipped. Is there a bet on the other side of those, Steelers to miss, Ravens to make? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think those Jaguars are going to finally make it into the playoffs, Gil.
Yeah.
What is that's been my constant answer. Yours has been the Chargers, right?
So that's what I want to get to. So I think the only bet to consider here in the AFC is still that. Despite the Chargers winning last night, right? The only make-miss bet that I believe one can consider in the AFC is, can you talk yourself into the Chiefs still making it over the Chargers? The Chiefs are plus 550 to make. The Chargers are plus 260 to miss. Now, if you look at a 7 make, right? So if you purge, you just have to eject one of those, right? And so that's where I would focus because it's a 3-game difference. But the Chargers right now, Kelly, have one of the hardest remaining schedules in the NFL. Aggregate win percentage of opponents, 606, sixth hardest remaining schedule. Chiefs, 462 aggregate win percentage of opponents, 21. And what you are looking for is a way for them to get in on tiebreaker, right? And so that would have to shake out that way as well. That's the only thing you can talk yourself into, because right now, Chargers in division would have to lose 2 more. Chiefs would win out. They would have an even division record, and then they would tie in the conference, I believe it would be. Anyway, it's the only thing you can possibly talk yourself into in a make-miss of any plus prices in the AFC is my thought. And even that is a stretch. By the way, I cannot talk myself into it. But that to me is the only category, the only 2 teams where you could possibly do so. Otherwise, we kind of know what's happening in the AFC.
I mean, look, you would need to have some faith in the Colts. And
I think they're done.
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip, we didn't bring that up yet.
Yeah.
Phillip, here's the thing about the Colts story. The Colts don't know if Phillip Rivers can play. Guess who else doesn't know if Phillip Rivers can play? Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. Grandfather, Phillip Rivers.
Well, no, he even says, I don't know.
Yeah. What they have
He's
had a
intrigued.
practice last night, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna bring this one up because it's quite a price. 11-1 on the Texans to miss. Like, yes, they are the team that's in the mix for both the AFC South and a wild card, but
6th easiest remaining schedule.
But they've got they have the Chargers left on their schedule and the Colts. So there is the opportunity for just the head-to-heads to almost kind of play your way out of it. Now, the other 2 games are the Raiders and the Cardinals. That's part of the reason why they're such heavy favorites to make it right now. But, man, they lose one of those. And then if they drop Chargers and Colts, I like the Texans. I think they've been very impressive recently. That just seems like a pretty damn big number for a team that could still possibly get balanced.
All right, work with me on the Chiefs. Again, I'm not making the bet. I'm just saying this to me is the only way you can talk yourself into a plus bet in the AFC. They host the Chargers this week. That's obviously a knockout game.
Okay.
They have to win that, right? Then it's at Tennessee, home Denver, Christmas, at the Raiders. So let's say they go 4-0. Big if. But let's say they do, right? Not the craziest thing in the world. Defense looked great second half, right? Chargers have the following.
It's brutal.
At Kansas City, right? Obviously the knockout game. At Dallas, home Texans, at Denver in the elevation. Again, am I betting it? No, but that's the only thing I can see possible. NFC, to me, is a little more complicated.
Yeah, the only thing with the Chargers, and I'm with you, but the only thing is it's who's getting in if they're missing, right? Chiefs,
that's what I'm saying.
Chiefs or Colts.
Those are the only plus prices, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not betting it. NFC, so you have a Bucks-Panthers bucket, right? Which, by the way, I think is still properly priced, even though they're both 7-6. Bucks remaining schedule, 22nd is 462 aggregate opponent. Panthers 519s, a little advantage to the Bucks there, but they play each other twice.
Yeah.
So if you, it's on each team's racket if you can get the sweep. But I do think it's still properly priced. But you could talk yourself into a Panthers plus make and a Buccaneers plus miss. Not that I'm betting it, but you could. Eagles Cowboys to me remains the biggest value in the NFC East. Eagles are plus 950 to miss. Cowboys are 6-1 to make. The Cowboys and Eagles both have supposedly easy schedules, but if you analyze them, you could easily see the Cowboys going 4-0 and the Eagles 2-2, and the Cowboys win the division. Because I do think the Eagles are at Buffalo, and don't laugh, they have 2 games with Washington. That usually is a split, regardless of record. I'm just saying. That's interesting to me as well. And then the only other team, just besides the buckets of divisions, when you just put it into the whole wild card scrum, what have I said consistently throughout? By the way, the Eagles' final schedule is Raiders this week, but it's at Commanders, at Bills, home Commanders. That Commanders game is on Christmas, by the way, right in the middle of a wedding I'm attending. Oh, no, not Christmas, December 20th, pardon me. Right in the middle of a wedding. I already told the groom's mother, I'm like, someone's disappearing during this ceremony.
You won't be the only one.
But no, I won't be. The only, because it is in D.C., the only other thing I can sort of say is what I've said every week when we've done this, which is now not division buckets, but the whole wild card picture in the NFC. The Bears to miss. Sorry, guys, I said this even when they were the number 1 seed. The Bears to miss at plus 160, not the most horrible bet in the world. Their remaining schedule is the 9th toughest, 567 aggregate win percentage of their opponents. Listen, they should be able to do it, but after the Browns this week, it's home Packers at Niners, home Lions. You better win this week, Bears, is all I'm saying on that.
If I had to make a bet, we made that bet 2 weeks ago. It would be the same thing. Bears to miss.
Bears to miss. Well, I actually made Cowboys to make as well, as you know. Cowboys to win the division, I made specifically. Coming back, hockey with Jake Hahn. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Got a good thing coming. Just wait and see. It's a good.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup, then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Wednesdays are for blackjack at Bracco. Hit the tables and play blackjack. If luck does not go your way, you'll get 50% off your losses back in Bracco cash, up to $500. Use promo code VSiN to grab your bonus to try again with house money. Go to Play Bracco. That's BRACCO, playbracco.com, or scan the QR code and use promo code VSiN. Check it out. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Hoops by Hoots. Wait, Jeremiah Love wasn't bumped for Carson Beck in the last Heisman spot? I don't know if he's busted on somebody or...
Shocking, I know.
Jesse Welch. Shout out to all the Duke fans out there since Drew Dinsick decided to claim them as national champions since the committee would allow them into the playoffs. So congrats, Duke. People going after our guest today. Jeff Holdorf. Week 18, would there be any thought the Denver Broncos would let the Chargers win, let the Chargers win to allow them into the playoffs instead of the Chiefs? Love conspiracy talk. Yeah, I guess we would get to that hurdle when we got there.
I was going to bring it up. We're running out of time, and I really don't know if I believe it either. There's a chance the Broncos have just nothing to play for in that game, right?
There is that chance.
I don't know if I really believe that's the case.
I don't believe there's that chance either, but yes, there is that chance. I mean, it's 4 weeks. It's short, but it's so long at the same time in terms of all that talk.
God, there are so many teams with great records I've given such little respect to this year. Like the Broncos have 2 losses. They have 2 losses.
But Aaron Schatz said the same thing. It's not just us, right? Like the Patriots have played us. The difference between the Patriots and the Broncos is the Patriots have played a ridiculously easy schedule, but at least they blow out teams, generally speaking, or at least win comfortably.
Agreed.
The Broncos have a great record, but they just are creeping by all these lousy teams. Right?
Yeah.
So,
and if, like, the Jacksonville Jaguars win a Super Bowl, like, I'm going to be broke. I'll just be out on the street, out on Fremont hanging out.
I mean, all these, it's just, we were saying earlier in the year, isn't this going to be interesting how, like, the Hall of Famers, Lamar and Mahomes and Allen are going to be on the road in the playoffs? Well, Lamar and Mahomes might not be in it at all.
They'll be on their couches.
Yeah. They'll be on the road all right. Not at any football stadium, though. So it's the most fascinating season ever that I can remember, recent history for sure. Let's talk some hockey. Jake Hahn joins us now from north of the border, Toronto, Canada, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Once again, JHahn4, JHAHN, the number 4 on Twitter is where you can find him. Co-host of NHL Fantasy on Ice podcast on NHL Fantasy, and of course, co-host of The Point, or On the Point rather, Monday through Friday, and then the Fantasy Hockey Show on SiriusXM NHL. Jake Hahn joining us courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing great, guys. Still cold, actually colder than I was last week when I joined you guys, but not with the bets, just the temperature outside. The bets are doing okay. We're trying to stay as hot as we can here. Hopefully we can keep that going in tonight. Always a busy card for a Tuesday in the NHL, and I hope everything's going well with you guys. Like the NFL, we're trying to figure out who's truly good and who's truly not in the National Hockey League. It's not much different in the NHL right now.
Yeah, you got a whole bunch coming up. 3 sides, 1 total, and a whole bunch of sogs, Kelly. A whole bunch of sogs on the way.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Those are for Kelly.
Those are for Kelly. Kelly requests the sogs. Before we do that, a couple things. One, I make this statement every time that I talk to you because I'm amazed by this. We are not halfway through the NHL season, but we're about 3/8 of the way through. And it's still only a 9-point difference from the top to the bottom of the Eastern Conference. That's pretty fascinating to me. The other thing is the Olympics are on the horizon. And by horizon, I mean February. And I just want to ask you, before we get to your Olympic thoughts in terms of betting, NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daley said that if the league's players feel the quality of the ice at the Olympics in Milan, known for its vast hockey history, the quality of ice there in Milan is unsafe, quote, then we're not going to play. It's as simple as that. February 2nd is when the main hockey arena is supposed to be finished. The women's hockey tournament begins 3 days later. The men's tournament, with NHL players set to participate for the first time in over a decade, begins February 11th. Do you think this is a thing, or do you think they'll get it right? Does this usually happen this way?
It does not usually happen this way. This is a very, I would say, frustrating, annoying, upsetting, buzzkill type story for someone like myself, and I think a lot of other hockey fans that just excited to see NHL players back at the Olympics. And this is taking up so much of the oxygen. Is the arena going to be ready? What's going on? Apparently, it's going to be 3 or 4 feet too short. Which, okay, you could say it doesn't sound like it's going to be too much, but these are pro athletes. They know they can notice these kind of difference. If it is going to be short, is it going to be in the O zone? Is it going to be in the neutral zone? There's so many questions instead of just getting excited about the roster, getting excited about these teams. So Gil, you know I'm a positive guy. I'm staying positive on this. We still got a couple months. I think they're going to get the arena ready, and I think they are going to play in Milan. That's still my thought about this, and I'm not going to get too negative about it, but it is upsetting. We have a beautiful outdoor rink in the park behind my house, actually, that's ready to go because it's been cold enough here.
That's right.
If they want to play the Olympics in the park downtown Toronto, I am absolutely in for that. So
that
I don't know where that is on the options list, but I'm okay with it.
This is one of the most absurd stories in sports. Milan figured out they were hosting the Olympics 6.5 years ago at this point.
Exactly.
You can't get an arena ready in time. They're not going to. It's not going to be played at any of the dimensions that it should be played at, or the NHL dimensions. It's going to be small as hell.
Good Canadian pronunciation on dimensions.
Dimensions.
Yeah.
Dimensions.
Kelly
dimensions.
believed that's the second most absurd story in sports. He'll save his most absurd one for later in the show, which has nothing to do with
my favorite one.
Yeah, on the field. Okay, understanding that you don't have any expertise in the sides that would be better on a lesser dimensioned rink or on a poor ice rink, where would your money go at this point, just based on rosters and the tea leaves right now?
Well, I'm not saying this just because I'm Canadian. I think the Canadian roster is clearly the best roster going to this tournament. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win, and I do think the U.S. is pretty strong on the back end. The U.S. has dealt with so many injuries to key players this year. Now, it looks like all of them, for the most part, are going to be healthy by the time this tournament starts. But I'm, worried about, are they all going to be at 100%? What's the status of some of these guys? Their goaltender would be Connor Hellebuck, who's out right now for the Winnipeg Jets. Does sound like he's nearing a return. So there's a lot to like about the U.S. team, guys. But that Canada roster is just totally stacked. They do need to figure out who's going to stop pucks for them. But I trust them to find one guy that could step up for a couple weeks in that tournament. So I'm going Canada. I know it's a very homer pick, but when it comes to best on best hockey, it's Canada, or it's tough to really pick anybody else these days.
Homer.
What do you got on the women's side? Coin flip on the women's side. USA minus 120.
Good question.
Yeah. On the women's side, I would be leaning towards the U.S. at the moment. I think that U.S. team for the women's very strong. It's going to, you could almost start the U.S. Canada gold medal game in the women's side right now.
Yeah.
Other things could happen on the men's side. I mean, Sweden's got a pretty strong roster. Finland's always pesky. Heck, even Czechia could be a team to watch out for at that tournament. But women's hockey, it's Canada, it's U.S. They should just play a best of 7 series, because those ladies do not like each other, and it makes for some great hockey.
Those ladies do not like each other. It's like Alcaraz and Sinner. Just get to the finals.
Yeah.
All right, we got a bunch of bets. Let's get to them. Bruins are at the Blues tonight. What do you like here?
Well, I'm going, but this is a great jersey battle, by the way. Love when the Bruins and Blues get together. The contrast of the yellow and the blue, always one of my favorites. Couple classic jerseys, but I like the Bruins in the way that they're playing, even without David Pastrnak in the lineup. I'm hoping we get Jeremy Swayman between the pipes tonight, but Korpisalo has been okay enough that if it is Korpisalo, I'll still make the bet. Bruins at plus money. I just think they're the better team. The Blues have played okay the last couple games. I will give them that, but I like Boston. I like the way this team is playing at the moment.
Oilers out west hosting the Sabres tonight.
I'm keeping this one simple, guys. It feels like the Oilers have finally found their game. 15 goals. Yes, you heard that right. 15 goals in their last 2 games for the Edmonton Oilers. The offense is finally clicking. McDavid is finally shooting, and he's scoring, and everything's going in for the Oilers. And hopefully that continues tonight in what is just a perfect spot. Buffalo played last night, second half of a back-to-back for them. I think the Oilers should be able to feast in this game, keep the offense going, and I'm willing to lay minus 1.5 with Edmonton.
All right, and then late night Avs are at Nashville.
Same handicap here with Colorado, except for the fact that there is no back-to-back. It's just the Preds just stink at this point. They've played a couple better games recently, but Colorado is the best team in the National Hockey League. They did play in Nashville a couple weeks ago, and it was actually a relatively closer game than I thought it was going to be. It was 1-0 late. Avs scored a couple empty netters to end up winning that game 3-0. I don't care if this is low scoring, high scoring. I think eventually the Avs are going to win in regulation. So I'll lay the minus 1.5, get some plus money on that puck.
Can I ask a silly question? Why is that game starting so late in Nashville?
It might be TV related. I'm seeing 9:40 Eastern time in Nashville. It's a very, very a granted question for a start time, so it must be TV related.
All right, and the total in the Lightning Canadiens game.
Okay, the Tampa crease is a mess right now. They just played in Toronto last night. It was a low-scoring game. The Leafs ended up grinding out a 2-0 shutout win against Tampa. So now they go to Montreal. They do that double that a lot of teams do. I'm assuming they're going to their third-string goalie here because Vasilevsky is not healthy. I think they can score enough on Montreal to keep pace. I see this being a 4-3 type hockey game between these two teams with Tampa on the second half of back-to-back. So I like the over 6 here.
All right, we're going to throw all your shots on goal and I think 1 points prop on the screen. Do we have that, Danny, all in one? Maybe not, but we don't have it right now. But can you just list them real quick for us?
I can fire them off for you. I like the Ducks game to target Beckett, Seneca, and Mason McTavish. That line has been cooking. You could take them each for a prop or for a point. You could throw them together if you want. I like Seneca over his 1.5 shots as well. Morgan Geekie in that Bruins game over 2.5 shots. Mikko Rantanen over 2.5 shots for the Dallas Stars. Noah Hannafin, Josh Norris, both over 1.5. And back to that Edmonton game, Connor McDavid keeps cooking. I like him for 2 points tonight at plus money.
Look at that. Danny puts him on the screen, too. Love it. Thank you so much, Jake. Always a pleasure. Appreciate it.
Oh, always great. Hopefully by next week, we got the Olympic ice figured out.
That's
Talk
right.
to you guys then.
Ice update next week. Appreciate it. Jake Hahn, everybody. College Hoops with Matty Cox next.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
Lesson number 1, Patty's back. I still believe that Caleb Williams is not any good. And, other than Roma Dunze, I don't trust anyone that can't run the ball.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game, live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander is my little buddy, Kelly Bidlin, to my left. Kelly Bidley disappearing before our eyes. Still on the journey?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
That sounds like he's not on the journey.
No, I absolutely am. I'm not. I don't know if I'd call it a journey anymore. The journey's really ended. It's just a lifestyle now, man. We get the same intensity.
Okay.
But if you want, I got on the scale this morning. It's exactly the same.
There you go.
So
well done. Maintain.
I've been bouncing. I've been bouncing back and forth a little bit. You know.
We get tweets beating the book. So many we didn't read yesterday about Miami cashing. Mean Gene, such a great call on Miami. Grayson Rossi cash plus 550 on the Canes to make. Matt Kryling, thanks to a numbers game. And the Bear for my profits on the Canes. The Bear coming up, top of the hour. Great call, Chris Felica from Colin Murphy. This was the Paolo Banchero situation all over again. S. Watson. I know, Bear, you're catching hell from the Notre Dame folks today, but your numbers game appearances this last month got me on Miami, plus 450 yes, plus 270 no on Notre Dame. So let me give both of you fine gentlemen a tip of the cap and enjoy your shopping. Bear, happy holidays. Ted Henritzi, thanks Kelly and Gil for saying Miami to make the playoffs was a good bet. I didn't get the fantastic odds that you guys got, but I still made good money. Lance Schaefer, Dr. Bob strikes again. We didn't make enough of that. Over on Cincinnati Buffalo, where he called it snow helps the offense. Well done by Dr. Bob. Triggered Webby, thanks for the advice on the Canes. Tenalock from Australia. One of the best aspects of guessing lines is you and Kelly dissecting the contentious events over the weekend. Factual and non-biased debate with your unique touch of humor. Must listen radio. Thank you. And Razorblade was a guy who was a little aggressive with me last week. He has come back and he has mea culpa did. He said this was before the selection show. He was like, log into your Kalshi account, retire, Gil. Notre Dame, 76% to get in. And then I said, how'd that go? He was like, no, you're right. He was cool about it. But I just want to point that out. Jim Katz, great show. Must listen to every week. Appreciate it. And this is from Justin G. My wife loved the Prince reference in the first segment, Gil. Made her morning. What was it? AUT-O-Matic. Tell your wife. Thanks for noticing. And Kevin Downs, my brother from another. Mad Dog Russo has a Heisman vote. He said he's voting for Fabia. Hey, Kelly, name a Tevin Campbell song. He throws that in there as well. Can you name a Tevin Campbell song? No, nothing? Can we talk? No, nothing? Okay. Matt Cox joins us from Three Man Weave. 1/3 of the Three Man Weave crew. But really, in reality, more than 33.3% of them. I think we've established that, right? Matt Cox, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter at Matty with a Y_COX. 3MW_CBB for Three Man Weave. How you doing, Matt?
Fellas, honor and a privilege. How are you on this? Frigid for me. Obviously, probably not so much in the desert, but
it's freezing.
Put a snow piled outside of my balcony. So,
oh man,
that's where I'm at.
Wow, how many inches? How many inches of snow?
We got 12 last week, and then we got like another 9. I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating. People in Chicago are probably like, "Oh, he's embellishing this," but it feels like it's been 2 feet, and I don't know if I'm going to ever see my my balcony or my driveway ever again. But Chicago, I guess it's what I signed up for.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you should move.
Probably should know about that in advance.
Terrible.
Yeah, bring a jacket.
I was not told. No one informed me. No.
Let me ask you one question. I think I asked you last week about, maybe it was last week, but one college basketball game that sort of jumps off the page last week was when Michigan took down Gonzaga by 40. And Gonzaga, who was crushing everybody before that was a noteworthy game because Michigan won, but by 40, my God, now Michigan's beating everybody by 40 or 30 points. It's kind of a common occurrence. This past weekend, I just wanted to ask you about one of these games. I think you probably know where I'm going. Purdue, number 1 team in the country, they're at home. They get blasted by Iowa State 81-58. A 23-point home loss. Obviously, Purdue no longer the number 1. Arizona now is. And there's all kind of historicals on Purdue losing that game, and Iowa State winning, one of which is Cyclones now, one of just 2 teams in AP poll history to have multiple 20-point wins against number 1 teams. They beat Houston last year by 28 in the Big 12 championship game, if you may recall. North Carolina, the only other team that has done that, beat number 1 Duke by 20 in 1989. And then beat number 1 Duke by 24 in 1998. So that's historical. Iowa State, I guess the question is, legit title contender, or is this just a nice regular season story?
I'm sort of on the walk in the fence there. I do think they are in the national title conversation, but I wouldn't put them at the top of the totem pole. I think it was a good matchup for Iowa State. I think they have guards in their style that really can disrupt how Purdue plays. And we've seen those those guards who are, they've been in college for what feels like 10 years now, Braden Smith and Fuss. They've not always dealt well with pressure. But I do think you have to put some stock in that, and especially given the fact that Lipsy, their point guard, wasn't even 100% for that game. So you can kind of commit yourself. There is a lot more upside. I tend to be too low on Iowa State every year. I think Coach Otts is one of those guys I probably need to reassess in my power rating component as I'm doing this. But I think they deserve to be top 5. Or, so 13-1. I think that's fair in terms of just the ordering and sequencing of the 1 through 10 top 10 teams. But I don't think they're better than Michigan. I don't think they're better than Duke. I don't think they're better than UConn. And I think they're not better than Gonzaga or Arizona either. I think Gonzaga and Arizona comparatively are better bets than Iowa State if you had to get put some money down there.
8 teams right now between plus 750 and 15-1, Michigan all the way down to Arizona to win the national title. Pardon me. So tonight, Jimmy V Classic at Madison Square Garden. I know you have a play on one of these games, but not the other. And I'm hard-pressed to remember which is the one you have the play on, but I think it's Clemson-BYU that you don't. What do you feel about Clemson-BYU? You think that line is accurate?
I'm actually close to having a play here. I lean Clemson. I've been burned by BYU a couple times this year, so I had to kind of reassess, am I undervaluing this team? And I'm not so sure I am. And for me, the story is about Clemson. I mean, Brad Brownell has been fantastic in these neutral site games, coming off a crazy comeback against Alabama. I think they have a lot of depth. That's been really the surprise to this Clemson team. That's where I think they can exploit BYU, which is really just a big three with Saunders, Devanza, and Robert Wright. And I think the Brad Brownell in-game adjustments that he's made in some of these big games so far this season have been super impressive. I think he's a better in-game adjuster than Kevin Young. He's done a really nice job, but I think they're more of a system talent team. I like the schematical edges that Brownell can bring forth here for Clemson. Again, over the full 40, just the fact that they've shown that they're not going to go away. I think 6.5, 7 is a high number. If it goes to 8, I'll be looking to hop in on Clemson. I feel like BYU money is coming. Okay, so that's a possible bet in that ball game. Okay. If 8, yes. If 8, yes is where I'm at there.
If 8, yes. Florida and UConn, the other Jimmy V Classic game tonight at MSG, you do have a play there.
Yes. This has been back. Actually, all the good matchups tonight have been back and forth in the market. So some fun two-way for the bookmakers behind the scenes to adjust here. I like the dog here again. I think Todd Golden, the way they played in that second half at Duke was super impressive defensively, actually taking the lead at Cameron despite some, and Golden will tell you, some questionable calls down the stretch. And, of course, they let Evans get loose on that late shot. But still, they need a big win. You look at their resume, Florida is still kind of lacking for like that marquee win. And I think this is the spot where they get it. Now, Terrence Reed is the key thing for UConn. He's questionable tonight. I'm told he's going to play 15 minutes off the bench. But I just think Florida's front court's equipped to handle him. So I like the matchup edge here, the way Florida's starting to defend. And again, a rematch of last year's title game or NCAA tournament round of 32 game where UConn almost stunned the Gators and derailed their national title run. I think having some experience playing against UConn in that deep vault of playbook and sets that Hurley and that staff has, I think that's a huge edge again for the Gators. So I took the 4.5, 5, a mix of those two numbers this morning with the Gators.
Illini are ranked 13th in the country. They're at Ohio State tonight. They're 5-point favorites. Which way are you going here?
I'm taking the road favorite. I used to be kind of a sucker for home dogs, especially in the Big Ten where most of those home courts are meaningful. But Ohio State just isn't one of those for me. I kind of compare this to Texas hosting Virginia last week. Texas football school, yeah, they draw well for home games, but I think that home court is kind of a wine and cheese crowd. Illinois is a better team. If they dominate up front in the paint like I expect them to, I think that home advantage, which you can probably assume is around 3 or 4, can quickly dissipate to 0 in a second. So I think you're actually getting a cheap price here to lay the road favorite, which is now healthy, and I think just has a pretty clear edge on the front line, which is huge in this matchup.
Did you just call the Ohio State basketball crowd a wine and cheese crowd?
Fired.
Is that,
wow.
what that
is that too harsh? I'm sorry. I just don't think it's going to play out well tonight. Yeah, that was too harsh. I might need to revise my descriptor of that. But yeah, I don't put. I think it's like a 2-point home court tonight.
Okay,
they're still getting over a loss in football, man. Yeah. Wow, rough.
They're probably all at home pouting, I would assume, right?
I think they're over that already.
At Matty_Cox. Give him a follow on Twitter. Let him know what you think if you're an Ohio State fan.
They beat Michigan. They're on their way to try to win a title. I think they're over the
has nothing to do with my Indiana alumnus roots and the unfortunate shank wide left. So unfortunate. I feel so bad for the Buckeyes.
Did you go? Terrible. Did you go to Indiana?
I did.
Oh,
yes,
I didn't
for
know
five, 5 long years. Yeah.
I did not know that either. Wow.
I didn't know that. Congratulations.
I attended five total quarters of attendance for football games during my time there. So it's hard to say. This has been a lot. I don't feel like I deserve this success on the gridiron. I didn't really sweat for it or put much blood, sweat, and tears in for it. Yeah, but I will take it.
A little guilt.
He's a real fan right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He knows where he's at.
As fair weather as they come.
Yeah.
As wishy-washy as
you
they
went to Indiana. Jim Root went to Mizzou. Where did Kai go?
And Kai went to Mizzou as well. So
Kai
we had
went
2
to
Mizzou,
Mizzou
1
as well.
Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matty Cox, everybody. Matty with a Y _COX. 3MW _